Welcome back to episode 11 of What's the Story, our second last one. And again, a change of direction today. We're in a small animal veterinary hospital here in Cork City to meet somebody I know quite well. I went to college with him, even live with him, Joe Keane, a really enthusiastic small animal vet. They're operating here back in Blackpool Veterinary Hospital, a specialist hospital as well. So let's come in, have a look at what Joe's doing. I think we're going to get to see him. He's doing some surgery. We'll talk about consults, gut health, and also the future of veterinary. Down underneath there's a CT machine, so we're going to really see a whole element of small animal practice today in this episode of What's the Story. Mr. Joe Keane.
Mr. Tommy Evans.
So, here we are, good way to start the morning with a coffee, episode 11. As I said, a little bit different. We're here in a veterinary clinic, veterinary hospital in Blackpool and Cork, and I'm with somebody, it's actually a friend of mine, we went to college together, lived together, Joe. So Joe, would you like to introduce people to you and tell people where we are?
I'm Joe Keane, qualified 2002, did mixed animal practice for 6 years, 4 years in Cork, 2 years in Carriganture. After Carriganture, I think I was done with large animals and I started to specialise more in smalls. Who am I as a practitioner?
Before we get into that, right, Joe,
Yes.
I have to say, because of course I do know you, right, is that like there's people who like veterinary and then there's people who love veterinary and then there's the likes of Joe Keane who's on the other. Tell people about your journey into veterinary, why you wanted to become a vet, because I think you were fairly determined to be a vet, weren't you?
I was. I remember the practice is on the north side of Cork City. I grew up not too far away from here. When I was in school, I always remember the defining moment. We got our Syllabus C maths sample questions for the junior cert.
Yeah.
And the question was, at the time, it was, if you add 1 to this car registration number 199C, what is the next car license plate? I kind of thought, geez, my ambitions and aspirations for getting veterinary are not on track here. So at the time, I kind of went to career guidance teacher. He kind of laughed at me.
Did you want to be a vet?
That I wanted to be a vet, given that I was doing Syllabus C maths at the time. And from there, I put my head down, studied hard, repeated my leaving cert twice. I'm kind of one of those people that I think you don't need to be the most academic to be a practitioner.
I think you're selling yourself short, but I think on the flip side, Joe, what I'll say about you is, and it's
Determined. I was
determined,
always determined.
determined, resilient, and focused on what you want. And I think you are. I often use you as an example of that, of what you can achieve in life. By being
100%.
all those things. So yeah, I think that's a very important background, is like you've always wanted to be a vet. I see, we were here this morning, we were chatting on the phone before we came here. You're just always looking to see what the next thing in veterinary is, how you can advance your surgical skills. You never, as long as I know you, have stood still. And how important is that? Because we talk about maybe the veterinary profession, and lots of vets will watch our What's the Story episodes, and particularly this one because we're in a small animal practice, or maybe aspiring vets. I think it's an important thing to start off with is, how important is that resilience and that willingness to learn particularly?
If you're not investing in yourself to grow as a vet, to do new procedures, to know more, to want to do more for the patients that you see, you're in the wrong job. Like, I'm constantly learning. Every day is a school day. I know that expression is used, but we're constantly advancing. Over the last 15 years, we were one of the first to do laparoscopic spays in Cork City. We had the first CT in Munster. We're constantly striving to advance the services that we provide for clients, and bringing yourself, educating yourself all along the way. I've always done courses, love going to courses. It gives you enthusiastic. You're enthusiastic for the job, and your love for the job is constantly showing through in doing courses.
You're getting a shout upstairs. We'll break here and we'll come back.
1 sec.
Your microphone's on now, Joe. Okay, so we're back at the table. Joe got called away. Joe, where were we? We were talking about, I suppose, yeah, resilience, determination, the need to learn and grow. All right, so
I think that's very important
yeah,
nowadays in veterinary because not everything is textbook. None of the animals read the textbook beforehand as to how they're to present, and not everything goes as textbook as. There's a lot of variables in surgery, medicine, that you need to be resilient as a veterinary surgeon
is that because things will go wrong and
all
things
the
don't
time.
always work? Yeah. So
100%.
failure's part of it, isn't it? Well, it's not really failure. I suppose learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that the different? And I suppose maybe that's the question I would have, is that can you make mistakes in this game and still go forward because of the pressure it's on, the expectations from maybe customers, pet owners, whatever it is?
I think that there obviously is an ethics line in taking things on, but I think, you know, you have to become resilient. Things don't go your way. Even to routine, straightforward, what are meant to be straightforward surgeries, it's complications like neutering every single day. You have to be able to learn from what happened, and you need to be able to grow. You need to accept that complications will always happen. It's not the blame game. I think that you need to talk to your team. You may be feeling it personally because you feel you're the only person that's affected, but all of your team, the nurses, anesthesia wise, they need you need to, you know, talk about these things openly because these things happen.
Okay.
And I think that's the one thing in veterinary that I see at the moment is that the younger generation, if I can call it that, or I'm calling myself the older generation,
Well, you get away with that, all right.
being in the older generation, I've seen all the complications. I've had them happen to me. When I'm talking to clients about expectations, about complications, I've had them all.
That's experience, isn't it?
That's experience. And you have to grow as a person, as you say. The pressures are, nowadays I've learned to cope with the pressures of taking on these surgeries, the expectations, and bringing the client on the journey with you.
How important is that communication piece with the client as a vet? It's really
It's the most
important.
important. Like,
Okay.
you need the client on board. Complications happen. There are risks. You need to have proper communication at the start before you do anything. Gain the trust of the client. That's the most important thing here. You know, things happen.
Are you still having fun? You're still enjoying this thing?
Still enjoying it. As everybody probably in Ireland knows, I did join a corporate a couple of years ago. We had 5 practices, 48 staff at the time, thereabouts. Myself and my partner Dermot at the time decided we don't want to manage. That's a different skill set that we weren't prepared to give up the veterinary at the time. We enjoy practice. We still enjoy practice. We didn't want to manage, and that's where you know, the corporates come in and they manage that for you.
So you're happy, without getting into all the complications of it, you're happy to be back as a private practitioner with your own hospital here, your own team.
I like
Setting the Joe Keane's way of doing things.
I like the autonomy of if you want to buy something, if you want to do something, you know, I think the one thing that joining corporate does is we are a business. There is no two ways about it. You can still be a business making money, but enjoying the journey as you go. It can't be all about the money. That's not life. I'm 47 now, still enjoying the job, really enthused, really love taking on new procedures, advancing. I'm doing it with colleagues that are happy to come on the journey with me. And that's the one thing over the last couple of years is I enjoy the camaraderie of advancing, all of us advancing together, be it the nurses with anesthesia, be it us with the surgery end of things, but it's constantly striving to provide the best service at a fair and reasonable price.
It's a good way. Can we go upstairs and have a look around, Joe? Can we bring our coffees with us? We'll have a look at some of the practice, because I know there's a CT machine in here. We're going to have a look at that, but just give us kind of an overview of what the practice looks like. We're here at reception. I see a number of consult rooms. Joe, will you give us a quick kind of run through of a modern veterinary practice, small amount of hospital? What does it look like? So we're here in reception. What's here?
So reception is here. We have 4 consultation rooms in this practice. The flow then is consultation.
So you meet the pet owners out here for
Meet
routine
pet-
stuff, sick
meet the
stuff.
pet owners out
Mike, you can
there.
come on the trip with us here.
This is where we do all the scrub of all the instruments after surgeries.
Okay.
What we've done
Just talk to us
is,
about the little bits of tech. The girls are getting the dog ready for surgery. So what's in here?
so in here is just routine surgeries,
Okay.
genital castrates, kind of, you know, lumpectomies,
Okay.
small lumpectomies. Here we have a full dental X-ray suite with the X-ray. So
That's your modern X-ray machine there. It's your
Modern-
digital X-ray machine.
modern dental X-ray with a DR system.
Oh, that's a dental X-ray.
That's a dental X-ray.
Okay,
so
just for the teeth X-ray.
just for teeth.
Okay.
This is the prep room here. That's
Just to give people an idea of, I mean, I suppose,
It's
and then this is a whole laboratory here. People think about bloods and stuff like that. This is all.
so this is all in-house now. So we're able to do the general health profiles, hematology, biochemistry, urinalysis, all done in-house. We have the newer advanced Abaxis machine that you can do FNAs now and upload it straight away.
Okay, so you can do, when you say FNAs, everyone doesn't know.
Find the last
So
bit.
you can do
we can
cytology,
we
take
can-
cells.
So we can now take a sample of a lump
Yeah.
with a needle, non-invasively, put it on a microscope, upload it onto the cloud, and a specialist will give you a report back within 4 hours.
So is that the part of the future? Because I want to talk about the future of veterinary. Is that part of the future? Is this access to expertise, remote expertise with some of the information you're getting?
Absolutely. So this then is
Sorry, girls, we were getting in your way.
this is the soft tissue surgery room with a ventilator. Nowadays, everything, you know, when you're doing advanced procedures, you need a ventilator. They'll stop breathing. Or if you're doing a procedure, you're in the chest, it's the ventilator that is the most important thing. Even though the nurses are.
Are these human? Are these ex-human machines?
These are ex-human machines.
Okay.
No, we use these every day
Okay.
in terms of.
So this is your surgery room. And what's
surgery
this
room.
big machine over here? Ultrasound.
So this is the ultrasound. This is like a stethoscope for us. Use it every single day, multiple times every day. We couldn't be in practice without an ultrasound,
Okay.
to be honest with you.
Okay.
It just gives you.
I just want to, I suppose, get us an idea of, after chatting to you, the different areas of where modern veterinary practice was. My very first practice, which wasn't that long ago, 22 years ago, we were using injectable anesthetics and stuff like that.
2
So
years ago was a long time ago,
know,
Danny,
yeah.
and
You
you're
would-
showing all the age.
you would know by looking at me. So yeah, this is your main surgery
So
room.
this is the main. This is the second biggest surgery. So we do orthopedics, laparoscopy, endoscopy. We do it all here, and yeah.
So that's what TV is. It's not for watching matches. It's you're live. You're watching. You're in the.
Live watching. So if you're doing the left side of the body, you're looking at that screen. If you're on the right hand side of the table for lap space
Okay.
and pericardectomies, you're on the other side of the table.
Okay, so it gives you an idea, kind of I suppose X-ray machine here. Then is it?
So this is the DR X-ray.
When you say DR, now using very short. What's DR?
DR is
Digital X-ray.
Direct.
Oh, direct
images
X-ray, okay.
Right up onto the screen.
So Mike, you get that. So you take your X-ray and it just shoots up here.
Take the X-ray instantaneously. It shoots up here for us to see. There's no messing with films, plates.
I'm looking at this as an older dog. Obviously, I still haven't forgotten my.
Yeah, veterinary. This is a dog with hip dysplasia, I would imagine. So he's got a joint fusion there. So I would say this is a dog who has a cruciate rupture.
Okay. So that gives you an idea, I suppose, Joe, quickly of we've gone and done a tour of the practice, kind of speed tour.
Yeah.
It's like almost a human hospital with everything condensed into a clinic or a
Yeah.
hospital. Now this is not not every practice could invest in this level. You're doing a lot of referral work as well, aren't you?
We're doing a lot of referral work. Probably 70% of the work we're doing at the moment is referral work. That's what I suppose we enjoy a bit about. We don't just want to do referral work. We enjoy the mixture. Seeing clients, first opinions. It's nice going to do a vaccine where you just switch to automatic pilot. You've done thousands of them, and you're meeting and greeting clients. It's great.
Okay, you're going to do a bit of surgery. We might join you for a bit of surgery, and then we'll go downstairs and look at this CT machine, talk about the future of veterinary.
Great.
just like there's a lot of prepping going on here before you ever do any cutting.
Yeah, so this is a little less routine in terms of routine surgeries. This dog has a big lump on its neck, and so we have clipped a wide margin. We need to nowadays. That's there, right? Handle. So nowadays, when you have these lumps, it's not good enough just to take them off and not have wide margins. We didn't biopsy this first. We just went straight for surgery. This seems to be getting bigger really quickly, and but we're going to treat it as if it is a growth, and we're going to do wide margins of excision. So we use this machine for all our lap space.
So we'll stop here again, Joe. You've done a wide excision just to show the surgery here.
So,
you completely removed the mass that's on the table there.
yeah, so just go wide margins. It never looks like wide margins when you take it off, but there's about a 3 centimeter margin all around that.
So now you're putting it Humpty Dumpty back together again, stitching it all up.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. So we're just going to stop, control the bleeding, and then we'll stitch it all up.
We've come out of surgery, Joe. You were scrubbed up with a good chat inside there, dog, lovely neat wound, and now we're looking at having a quick discussion. Behind us is the CT machine here in Blackpool Veterinary Hospital, and we're going to talk about the future of veterinary medicine. And I think this really kind of, for me, you've been showing us this before the camera started rolling, how CT works. So I suppose give people, before we talk about the future of veterinary, talk about just, I think this is worth seeing. What's CT? What do we kind of look at here, layperson's terms?
So CT is probably one of the most advanced diagnostic imaging, further imaging tools that's on the market, both in humans and in veterinary. In veterinary, I suppose we're always lagging a little bit behind humans, and
which is not understandable considering, you know, it is veterinary medicine, but yeah.
So your question is, what is CT? So
can we stop here, because I think Mike might capture this from the camera, so people might recognize this if you just go in.
So this is a CT of a dog that came into us who had a chronic nasal discharge over 2 weeks.
So this is the dog's nose here.
So this is the dog's nose, and I suppose in CT terms, if you just half it down the center, each side, left and right, should mirror.
Can I just say we're splitting it, we're cutting like it's like slicing up an animal in images, and you can actually go right through the
whole patient.
Okay, so we're cutting it through, and you're like a butterfly, you're comparing the left and the right.
Yeah,
and they should be equal as you go up the nose.
They should be equal. So here we can start to notice.
What did the dog present with, Joe?
Chronic nasal discharge for 2 to 3 weeks beforehand, with some bleeding as well. So you can see straight away here, something is not right here.
You can see the difference here between this side and that side. There's a something here. We'll call it a something. And then it gets back to normal again.
So then we can just then look at different slices in
this
different
is
planes.
a different size. And you're cutting it across now here, is it?
So you're cutting it across in every direction. This is a 3D image of this dog's skull.
Right.
And we've just highlighted what we've seen in the sagittal plane here.
Okay.
And now we're just
looking
at the other views.
Okay.
So we're getting more of an image of what it is. And then here on this right side of the nose, you can see that there's something, you know, measuring. So we can measure.
So something here, turn the dot, wow, okay.
So we can see there's something up that dog's nose.
Right, wow.
This is most likely what we would say a foreign body.
And what was it, Joe? Because this is an older case.
And this is a stick.
Okay, a stick.
So it was measuring nearly 3.5 centimeters long.
Got lodged up the nose.
Got lodged up this patient's nose. So where's the future of veterinary medicine going? The future's going on diagnostic imaging.
Wow.
Once we find what's going on and can see what's going on, then we can advise the client that this is what we need to do. In this case, we were very lucky. We were able to retrieve this from just outside going up the nose. We knew what it was. We knew the measurements. We did a CT afterwards just to make sure
everything's okay.
Everything's okay. If we didn't or weren't able to get it from outside, we would go in through the nose itself. Hard to say to an owner, let's go in through the nose to get something
Because you know now what you have to do.
because we know what we have.
Knowledge is power, and is that what diagnostics are allowing you to have?
Absolutely, 100%. It's giving us more information. It's allowing us to advise the client more that if we do go into this nose, that we can retrieve this and everything will be fine. So without CT, you wouldn't have known this was a foreign body. Hard to justify to an owner to open up into an area we're not very familiar with to some degrees. We could have stuck a scope up there, but you probably would have just pushed it in further if it was a scope.
Okay, so going through the practice today, we have defined needle aspirates, the AI technology, constantly everything. So this is primarily, I said you said earlier on, 70% of the work now is referral work.
Is referral.
Very specialised. The team here individually are all specialised as well. Plus, you have the option now of getting second opinions, specialised or specialist opinions back in. So veterinary is moving at a huge pace in I've used the word specialised for another time in this type of small animal practice.
Yes, so we would take all these CTs for other vets externally, but we would always send all of these images off to a specialist who will interpret and send back a full report. This is what they do day in, day out. We can send these off in a matter of a couple of minutes.
Okay.
We can have a report back in a couple of hours. So again, what way is veterinary going in the next 5 to 10 years? More specialisation. You will have people. When we qualified, it was large and small. You could do the James Herriot Veterinary. Now people want more. We have more diagnostic imaging. We know more, and there's more and more specialisation. So over the next 10 years, I think you will see, like the medical field, you have surgeons, you have medics, and even within surgery, you'll have orthopedic, neurology, soft tissue. That's where things are going.
Okay, so a couple of questions I have. We've been upstairs with the team as well, great nursing team, great veterinary team here in Blackpool Vets. Something we've asked Stephen, we asked Bruce Thompson and Nick in episode 4 on their farm, because we observed it, the importance of a team and environment and culture and everyone working together. What have you learned about that team? What makes a good team?
Well, I suppose the most important thing, I've grown as a leader, manager over the last 20 years, steep learning curve. I suppose people think that they're born with those traits. You learn those traits. You learn what's right for you and your team, and you grow. Well, in my case, I've grown with the team over the last 10 years that I know most of the team now. They know me, they know what we're about, they know my ethos. It's about coming in, enjoying your day as much as humanly possible. You'll have difficult days where things don't go with you, but you'll have the really great days. And, you know, that's for us what practice is about. Come in, enjoy the work, go home.
So the future of practice is about the team. Another question, Joe, look, it's very topical at the moment, future veterinary. There's 2 new vet colleges in Ireland being proposed.
Yes.
You know, do we need more vets?
Yes.
We do need more vets?
Yeah.
I think different, but it's not my opinion. But you think
But I suppose when you look at the statistics, so I was involved, there was a Cork group of vets who got together looking at, do we need more vets? And when you go down into the statistics, 60% of the vets that are signing the register every year are now coming from other countries. Okay. Most of them are Irish, going to Budapest, Warsaw, coming back with their degrees. So there is a need. And I think, you know, we're now not trying to be a jack of all trades. For me, I'm about taking on people with specific roles and specialisation. And that's growing the practice. You can't be a jack of all trades now.
Well, there are probably vets out there, and there is, because I meet them.
It's hard to be there.
They are doing it in general mixed practice, and that's the thing as well. But I suppose what we've got today in the future of veterinary, from your perspective, and certainly we see it in small animal medicine, is, you know, state-of-the-art technology, AI technology upstairs, diagnostic equipment, surgeries. Nothing's beyond. I don't think there's anything you can say you can't do surgically that possibly you do in a lot of human hospitals. But what I see the difference is, and maybe you could say I'm biased to my vet, is the speed. If the dog comes in, okay, it's private practice, gets the diagnosis, gets the surgery, and everything like that. It's an amazing hospital from that point of view. We're going to pop upstairs. Thanks for showing us the CT machine. We'll finish up our chat. We've taken up enough of your time this morning nearly. Just another 5 minutes. Right, Joe. Okay, you could say, look, you're biased because you're a friend of mine, but you'd give me the truth between the eyes as well. You've been a user of Precision Microbes for a long time. Before I get into microbes, I want to talk about, I suppose, your 20 plus years experience in small animal health. Health for a healthy dog or healthy cat, generally in terms of digestive health, what are you thinking about?
I think when we qualified, it was always antibiotics, antibiotics, antibiotics.
Before we go on to diarrhea or those kind of things, just in general, gut health in general, if you want to, what's the tips you would give a new pet owner, dog owner, cat owner, old dog, young dog, diet-wise? Is it all diet?
It is all diet. Yeah. I mean, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
That's the analogy in human terms.
Yeah.
It's no different for dogs. I think you have, your I was going to say McDonald equivalent foods. That's what I would say to clients.
Yeah.
You get your cheap and cheerful down in the local Dunn's, Tesco. Those foods are about turnover. They're not about quality per se.
Okay.
If you want a good quality food, either go to your vet or you go to a local pet shop. And again, there's a price point for everybody, but there are real good quality foods up there.
So it's worth pursuing that quality food.
It's worth pursuing it. I think that it's, in my mind, maybe layman's terms, in the higher quality foods you're getting chicken breast, in the lower quality foods you're getting beak, tail, feathers.
Well, that's kind of stuff that people could understand. Right, okay, Joe, talk to me about, we had a chat this morning before we came on camera, not overly prepping you, but we were talking about the role of microbes in the vet practice here. And, you've started using it in maybe cases where the digestive system was upset. And you're not the first vet to say to me, thankfully, that the reduction of antibiotics is one thing you see with the use of pro and postbiotics.
Yeah, I think for us now, over the last 10 years, in everything we do, veterinary-wise, our antibiotic use has gone way down.
Okay.
We don't use it for any routine surgeries anymore. Even orthopedics, we're not using it. But then you have to look at what can we use and what should we be using.
When you think about this, it's just to present it to people, maybe dogs or cats that are coming in with diarrheas or upset tummies.
Yeah, I'm saying to the owner quite openly, we don't use antibiotics anymore. We treat the patient. If the patient is reasonably bright, no need for antibiotics at that time. If nowadays there does seem to be a lot of Giardia, which is a bacteria that does make dogs sick, and we do tend to treat them with antibiotics, but there's a snap test we quite routinely do in practice to differentiate those dogs. If we diagnose that, we will give antibiotics to cure it. Otherwise, it's all precision microbes. Why do I use that? At the time, a couple of years ago, when you started getting into it, we did, have good chats about what is a good probiotic. And at the time, it did open my eyes to it. You do get everything on the market at the moment is a freeze-dried, reconstituted probiotic. In my mind, thinking about it, you're freeze-drying a bacteria to try and reconstitute it in a live dog.
And then it has to activate and produce micro. Look again.
Whereas this is an actual live bacteria suspended. The bacteria suspended in a medium that they can survive. Like that has to be.
I didn't pay Joe to say this, Nigel.
But I suppose in my mind, if I'm going to use a product, if I'm going to endorse it, I want my layman rationale for using it.
Yeah.
It's live bacteria. That's what I tell the clients.
Have you seen results with your customers?
Yeah, we had a dog in not so long ago. She had been quite frustrated. She was with another vet's. It had EPI, just couldn't stabilise the dog, even on the supplement for pancreatitis. We put her on Precision Microbes, and within a week, the client said it was miraculous. I remember ringing you at the time and saying, Tommy, does this work for EPI? And you quite honestly said, yes, it does. We don't know why.
Yeah, in not every case. I mean, this is the danger we're in in the position you're in is, we've seen some amazing stuff. We're seeing stuff we didn't expect. You can't make guarantees. You're in the supplementary market. It's not a miracle cure. It's certainly something we're seeing positioned as a supplementary tool that vets are deploying with dogs and cats in different cases. And the feedback primarily, I would say, is like it is in the horses and calves, is incredibly positive.
But we have people coming back buying it. I put pets on this, and they're coming back in physically wanting this. They've seen a benefit with their pet. We've started buying. We were buying the 100 mls, then the 300 ml. Now we're on the litre, and we started getting in the greyhound for those clients that want long-term use of it. I mean, just from a scientific point of view, there is good bacteria, there is bad bacteria. You're flushing the gut through with good bacteria. I mean, live bacteria.
It makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Joe, we've had a great morning here with you. Look, we've had a cup of coffee. You've been slagging me a lot behind the camera, which seems to be a theme now at What's the Stories. Mike we'll have to bring out an episode of slagging Tommy. But look, we've had a really enjoyable morning. You're really progressive. You've a great mindset, want to learn. You've a great team here as well. You've mentioned them. We've seen the CT machine. We've seen surgery. You've done something that a lot of people do. You've gone from private practice to corporate practice to back out again to the Joe Keane show and back starting again in Blackpool Vets. So what does the next 10 years look like for Joe?
I think the next 10 years is what I want to do, just provide good veterinary medicine to clients that are happy to come in, happy for our services, happy to pay us. I don't want to do, I certainly don't want to do veterinary whereby, you know, I'll rephrase it. We can cater for any client and any budget once the client is happy with our services and happy to pay. I have clients that come in that can't afford very much. We will always come up with a solution within their budget. Now my clients are quite open with me. They know me long enough. They're quite happy and honest. This isn't in my budget. Quite often over the years, I would see clients who come in, they would take the product that you recommend as gold standard, but they can't afford it. They'll take the one shot of Librela, Cytopoint, whatever the medication would be, but then they won't come back to renew it. That's not the practice I want to be in. I want to offer the client every option in their budget so that we treat the pet going forward long term, not give them a 1 or 2 month injection and they never come back again, the animal suffering, just because you weren't confident enough as a vet to say, we have different price points depending on what you as the client can afford. That treats the pet.
So customer service first, enjoying the job, progressing. It's a nice mixture. It's your mixture. It's what you want to do.
I have autonomy, and you know, I think that's what I missed in my previous role, is that, you know, if I think something is worthwhile pursuing, we'll pursue it. And, you know, we don't stock any other probiotic. I mean, there's no need to. I think this is reasonably priced for the acute dog with diarrhea or vomiting, and there's no need to have anything else on the shelf. And that's not because I know you. That's because it actually physically works. Clients don't have a problem palatability wise. It seems to be easy to give. So I know you meant to dilute it. A lot of clients just give it orally.
Yeah, put it in the food or whatever.
Yeah.
Joe, look, it's been a really enjoyable morning. Thank you very much. And I didn't give Joe a brown envelope this morning before we started. We are friends, and he would tell me the opposite.
No money anyway, Tommy.
Guys, that's it. That's the end for episode 11. Joe, thank you very much.
Cheers, Tommy.
So upstairs, they're prepping a dog. Again, life goes on here in the veterinary practice from the veterinary hospital. I really enjoyed this episode, chatting with Joe, kind of, I suppose, really seeing where small animal practice is. They have a great team here. It's a really busy veterinary hospital. We got to see surgery. We got to talk about gut health. I didn't give Joe a brown envelope, but it's great to see vets engaging with Precision Microbes. And again, like all animal species, I think we're game changers. We're seeing results. We got a glimpse into the future. CT machines for small animal medicine. What will that look like in a decade? I don't know. It's been brilliant. Another episode of What's the Story done. Join us for the next episode, our final episode in the series where we meet our customers.